one of us need to take notes here tonight, number one. Number two is take in what he's going to tell you tonight and use it to your advantage over the next handful of days as we go into some of the greatest times of ACN, and that's Thanksgiving. Guys, you're going to be in front of people you don't see all year long. You're going to run into people you haven't seen in the last 2 or 3 years. And all I can tell you, if you take a little piece of what James is about to share with you and you put it into your language and you put it into your toolbox, you're going to have more people than you have right now coming to Long Beach, California. So with that, James, thank you so much for being on the call here tonight. We appreciate you on behalf of all 500 people that are on this call. We can't wait to hear what you have to say. The call is all yours, my friend. Let's all give James a round of applause, can we?
Thank you very much, Mr. Mazer. I appreciate it. And I'm looking at that 212-818 number. I'm like, man, that's a lot of pressure. But anytime I have an opportunity to be amongst the best of this company, I think, I'm just such a blessed person because Mr. Pat Mazer is right. We were in King of Prussia, Pennsylvania. We were working the business together. I remember going to his place and sitting and learning from him exactly what he was doing in the business and how he was attacking it. And it's just been an amazing thing to see what has happened, what has happened for himself, for his brother, for the people that he's impacted. What's happened for the people under the mentorship has just been absolutely awesome. And I consider myself one of those mentees from afar where there are people that I could reach out to and just ask a question, just like I did tonight, just like I did last week, because I want to get better. I want to get better for myself. I want to get better for our team. I want to learn from the best to do it. And so it's just when Mr. Mazer reached out and asked for me to hop on this, it was a no-brainer. It was a complete honor. But having an opportunity to follow Mr. Kupas, I remember getting to see Mr. Kupas for the very first time at an international event. And I said, this is one of the greatest thinkers, and he just makes it just so simple. And then when I went to a European event and I saw that he was the same way in Europe that he was over in North America, that everyone over there absolutely loved him because of his ability to make everybody feel incredible and make the business so understandable. And I think for those of you, the 500 of you that are on this evening, some of you are so new, you may not really understand what you were just given. Like, it won't be until a month from now, 5 months from now, maybe 5 years from now, the story that he told about his breakthrough and why promoting events is so important, or the story he told about why ACN runs the events the way that it does in North America. I think later on sometimes you're going to gain perspective on what you just heard, and it's gonna hit you upside the head. You're going to say, my God, I heard that in 2019. If I would have just did the things that the man said to do then, I could be so much further. So my hope is that you just, even if you don't fully understand everything, that you just take it and run with it. And I've just got a very I said, where is that going to be? And it says it's going to be in Maryland. I said, okay. So just like Mr. Cooper was talking about going to his first event in the greater Baltimore area, I went to my first regional event in the greater Baltimore area. Then I heard Mr. Larry Raskin do a training, and let me tell you all, look at me. I was losing it. I was doing everything in that room to not get arrested. I'm thinking I'm about to get arrested this place because I'm so excited. I'm about to get arrested. Like someone's going to come cart me off and they're going to take me in. They're going to be like, there's something wrong with this brother. And Larry Raskin was talking, and I'm in the back of the room walking back and forth like Felix and Cat's eyes, just walking back and forth because I'm thinking this is the most incredible thing I've ever heard in my entire life. And I'm freaking out because I'm seeing the possibilities, like all these lights start clicking in my head, and I'm like, this thing is really for real. And he said, if you think this is incredible, you've got to go to our international event. And I said, it gets better than this? Like, it can't be better than this because I'm already freaking out. I remember I was sweating. I don't know if you know that thing with the armpits. I had that thing going on. I'm in a cold room, but I'm perspiring. And they're like, you got to go to the international event. I'm like, I can't take much more of this. Like, I'll be in the hospital if they give me much more than this. And they said, you got to go to this event because this event is going to just absolutely take you to another level. I'm thinking, there can't be another level. Like, I'm already with it. If there's a level, I'm already at that level. Anything past that level it's not possible. But I got to go see for myself. And I did not have the financial resources to go to Ohio. I did not have the time to go to Ohio. My significant other at the time was very negative about the business, so I was kind of dealing with that situation. And I just said, I got to go. And I willed myself to that event. I willed myself to Cincinnati, Ohio. And I sat in that room, and I slept in a room with 9 other ACN business owners, all right? It's me. I got this mattress, this little pull-out mattress thing. I was in a corner. It was head to toe in the beds. There were 2 beds. There was a sofa bed. I'll never forget, somebody was sleeping on the spring of the sofa bed, okay? Think about that. Not the mattress, the spring of the sofa bed, and we were packed in there. And I remember walking in that room thinking to myself, what am I doing? I don't even know what I'm doing here. I don't even know why I'm in the room with these 9 other people to hear this information. I'm already fired up. What did I have to come here for? And I heard Mr. Greg Provenzano open the event. You see, everyone, there are moments that I still have one to this day. I've had many versions. I grabbed my old school composition notebook. You remember these bad boys from high school. I grabbed my old school composition notebook, and I said, I'm going to take notes on what every single person says until I get what I need in order to go home and make this business work. And I sat down with my composition notebook, and I wrote page after page after page after page after page after page. Every single speaker, every single note I could think of, every single thing they said that stood out. I remember I used to have this little old cassette recorder. So I had the cassette recorder, these little micro cassette recorders. I'm old school. Okay, this is just like 20 years ago, okay? And I had my notebook, and I'm like, between this recorder and this notebook, there's no way in the world I'm missing a thing. I'm not missing a thing. Between my composition notebook, I didn't have a recorder in school, but to my composition notebook and this recorder, I'm going to get this information. And by the time Saturday event was done, they had something called the RVP promotions. And when I saw my very first RVP promotion, when I sat in that room and I said, oh my God, they bring you up on stage, they say your name, you speak behind a microphone, I'm like, I'm done. Get me out of this building. I don't need this building anymore. Just send my behind back home, and I'm ready to go get it. Well, I had to wait till Sunday session to be over because then Mr. Provenzano closed out the event. And I sat in that room on Sunday, and he just brought everything together. You see, why am I giving you this story? Because I went to that event, and I didn't want to go. I didn't want to go to that event. I did, for all intents and purposes, I didn't have the money to go. Hey, I didn't sleep on the floor with 9 other Asian people because I was doing it financially, okay? That's called, that's called need. I was in a space of need. I was in that room, and I was thinking and dreaming. We went back to the hotel room every night. We're like, did you see what he just said? Oh my God, this is unbelievable. You remember that speaker, what he just said? And I was just dreaming. We tell our kids to dream. I tell my kids all the time to dream. I say, dream and work, right? Dream and work. I said, I want you to dream and think big. The world tells little kids to think big and dream, but sometimes we're afraid to just dream a little bit more than we dream right now. But when I went to that event, I started dreaming color again because my dreaming at that point was in black and white. I was always thinking to myself about if I just do this, maybe they won't fire me, and if I just do that, maybe they won't promote me. And it was in black and white. But when I went to that international event, I started dreaming color. Some of you right now, this evening, you're already committed to go to Long Beach. You're fired up. You've got flights ready. You've got hotels ready. You've been ready since the last event, like Mr. Cooper's talked about. But then there's another percentage of you that you're trying to figure this out. It's like you're wrestling with it, right? You're like, man, I want to go, but I don't know. And you're like, I want to be there. And you're like wrestling. You're like wrestling against yourself. And I just want to talk to you for a second. Because I'm a firm believer, just in my heart of hearts, that when you have the greatest struggle, you have the greatest value. What is hard for you to do is the thing you respect the most. Think about the class that was the toughest for you, the one that you was kicking your butt, that professor, that teacher was kicking your butt. You could give me that person's name right now. You could give me that class right now because you struggled and you fought and you made it through that class. It wasn't easy, but you did it. You were up nights. You were slopping down coffee. You did what you had to do to pass that class. Why? Because you needed to pass that class. Think about the sport that you ever played. What was the sport that you started and you weren't necessarily great at day one, but because you practice, you put in the time and you put in the work. One day, all of a sudden, you realize your skills are there a little bit more. We as human beings, what we struggle for, we really value. I'm telling you right now that the international training event for some of you is a struggle. Financially, it's a struggle. Time-wise, it's a struggle with regards to your work schedules. It's regards to your family life. It's not a convenient thing, but it's about will it be worth it? And it's going to be worth it. You're going to have a chance to learn from the best of the best in Asia and North America. We just found out right now on this Zoom that top producer, global leader, Mr. Ahmed Mukhtar is coming in to train at this event. First time at the North America event. I saw him in Europe. I was blown away by the level this guy thinks at the European event. He's flying over for that event. Guess what? You didn't have to buy his ticket. You didn't have to take care of his hotel room. You didn't have to do any of that. You just have to show up. You have to show up and bring people, but you do have to show up because what you miss, the information you don't get, it could be, what if you could get just one thing, just one small idea that could just take you to that next level? Mr. Mazur and I would go to nationals after nationals, looking for just that one idea. And I would see him doing the same thing. He had his composition notebook. I had my composition notebook. And we were just taking notes, just trying to get that one idea. I said, you know what? If those people up there can do it, and they're going to not only do it, they're going to tell me what I need to do. And all I got to do is come and take notes, and I could get one idea that could get me a little bit closer, the doggone hell's bells and cottontails. I'm getting my butt to the international event, and I'm going to take notes and record. I'm going to do whatever I need to do. And what I'm saying to you is this: resist not the process. For everything, there's a process. In fitness, the gym is part of the process. That's just part of the process. In education, school is part of the process. In sports, practice is part of the process. You don't want to resist the process. The process in ACN goes to the international training event because the information you gain there is going to absolutely it's like a combination lock. It just turns and turns and turns, and then there's a click, and there's another click, and all of a sudden you realize what ACN really is. My heart and my prayer is that if you're watching this right now, whether you're in the business or not, does not matter. You get Long Beach. Just go to Long Beach. Just trust the person who took the time to put you on this Zoom, to have you look at this Facebook Live. You don't necessarily have to see the entire staircase to take the first step. Sometimes you just got to take the first step. And then when you're sitting in that arena in Long Beach, in that convention center, and you hear the announcements, you hear the training, you hear the leaders pour themselves out to you, you're going to be so glad and so grateful that you stretched, that you figured out what you needed to do in order to be there, that you gave up wrestling and you just said, okay, when I can go from I don't know if I can do this to how can I do this to now I'm doing this, that's where magic happens. You know, here's the last thing I'm going to leave you with is this incredible word. I was reading this book, and I don't know about you, but I remember reading the story of Ali Baba and the 40 Thieves when I was a little kid. And in the story, it talks about the magical word abracadabra. And I remember reading that story, abracadabra, and just being a little kid, not understanding what abracadabra was. I just thought it was a really cool word from a story. And when you said abracadabra, stuff could happen for you. And then as I became older, I read a book that said abracadabra, the root of it is I create from my word. That is the actual meaning of the word abracadabra. It means I create from my word. Well, you know, biblically it says, and there was, in the beginning, there was the word. And the foundation of creation was God spoke and took an action. Now, isn't it interesting that God just didn't speak? God, the creator of all things, took an action. Well, here's my point. Speak what you want and then take an action. In this case, for the purpose of this conversation, it's acnreg.com. That's an action. You have a team of people that want to help you get there. Some of you, you might have to room with somebody. That's okay. It's for a season. You might have to have 9 people in the room like I did. That's okay. It's okay. You're not going to be in a hotel room anyway. But just be willing to go a little bit outside of the box and see what's possible when you get outside of the box. Because amazing things can happen when you get outside the box and you create with your word. This is the last international event of 2019, and it's the last international event till we go into a new decade. And 2020 is the new year. And when you go to the doctor and you have the seeing eye chart, 2020, when you get that, is perfect vision. The doctor says, oh, we see you have perfect vision here in 2020. Well, here's our hope and prayer, that you see the perfect vision of ACN in Long Beach, and you become a huge part of that perfect vision in the end of 2019, going into 2020, as this company's about to not only change history again, but we're going to a level, we're going to be on the Mount Olympus of this industry, and we're going to set a standard so incredible that people all around the world are going to know without a shadow of a doubt that this company is innovative, it reinvents itself, and we're looking for the leaders of the next generation to help make that vision come to reality. So with that, I want to see you at the Long Beach International event with us. I want to celebrate you being there. If this Zoom helped you to get there, I want you to come up to myself, Mr. Mazer, Mr. Coopers, and say, I was on that Zoom. I wasn't sure if I was going to go, but because you guys, I'm here. We want to hug you and celebrate you for being there with us, because we know that you made a miracle happen. You created with your word, and we can't wait to see the result of that for yourself and for your family. Mr. Mazer, thank you for the example that you set. You always lead by example. We can't wait to see you train at the big stage at the International. Thank you for all you do. God bless you and your family. I'll see you in Long Beach.
Thank you, James. And on behalf of everybody on here today, I just want to take a minute and acknowledge you for giving so much on the call tonight. Giving us so much great information. And I know how much I'm inspired right now by what I heard. And not only for myself, but for everybody on here that's going to help more people to come, and more people to come, and more people to come, and with what we're going to do together in Long Beach. Tonight is the last night to pre-register. So if you want the $169 ticket, you've got to get registered here tonight. It's acedge.com. That's acnreg.com. And here's what it's going to do. It's going to create that possibility for you to have 2020 to be that breakout year. But it's not about us here tonight, guys. We're committed. We've been on here for an hour. The number never went down. Every single one of us want greatness in the future for our family, but we've got to be that messenger for others. There's people right now that you're going to see over the holiday weekend that you're going to get in front of in Thanksgiving. You're going to be doing presentations for on Friday and Saturday and Sunday, and they're going to ask a question, what should I do? And let me give you the best advice that I ever get. Take them to Long Beach. See, a lot of people are surrounded with average. Their friends are average. Their family's average. Their neighbors are average. And they're getting the advice from people about becoming average. If you want to be exceptional, if you want to become great, you've got to spend time with great people. And I think that here tonight. How many of us agree, hearing from Mr. Michael Kupis in the law of association? Here's what my mentor taught me. If you hang out with millionaires, you'll become a millionaire. If you hang out with broke people, you'll become a broke person. And then to get it here from James and talking about what this business has done, not only for him, but countless people around the world. And you get an opportunity to spend 2.5 days and bring as many people as you can. And I don't want to see any one of you, in a situation where you're not able to go because of something. You know what I told? I just got off the phone with somebody earlier, and they said, well, finances. I said, look, have a yard sale. Here's what I know about Americans. We got a bunch of crap. How many of us agree with that? They're building storage facilities all over the United States just to keep our stuff. We got so much stuff right now. We're putting in storage facilities. It's time to have a yard sale. It's time to get rid of some of that stuff, because here's what I do know. When you make millions and millions of dollars, you will not have that stuff. How many of us agree with that statement? You'll have new stuff. And that old stuff needs to go on to somebody else. So make sure you're doing your part. Get your people there. A leader leads. A leader brings people with them. And on behalf of everybody here tonight, I want to thank Mr. Kupis. Thank you so much, Michael, for being available here tonight. Thank you, James. You deliver like you always do. And I want to make sure all of you guys run up to James at the National, let him know the impact that he made. And I'm going to mute the line so we can all say good night together.
Good night. Okay, man. Thank you.
Thank you.